Live from the Slackers Sports Bar Studios. This is In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
Yes. Well, hello, good morning, man. We're back again. It has been 20-some-odd hours since we last signed off with you boys, and, well, it's time for that In the Building. It is show number 200 under this new watch that is In the Building on this all-Halloween day. Happy Halloween. It's show 200. Rudy is out today. He has gone on a murderous rampage. Kidding. So normally in these moments when we have guys out of the room, throughout my career, I've always liked to say that so-and-so's out of the room because he's got a raging case of the squirts. But Rudy has such an ego. I think if I came on here and said he had a big case of the squirts, he'd get mad at me. Rudy is out of the room today. Something has come up at his scene. Okay, we're not confirming that he's got a raging case of the squirts, walking pneumonia or nothing. He's off today. That's okay. Gosh knows I've had a couple of days off. Look, we've already making money, so it's working out great. So bear with us. It's just me and DJ LG here in LG Studios for show 200. Here on Love You Hard TV. You can jump in here and shoot us a chat if you want to. We'll try to we get so many, we try to get to the good ones that we notice, but I appreciate y'all chatting. And you can, obviously, guys will get in there and chat amongst themselves, too. A lot of times people will be in there arguing over stuff that we're not even talking about on the show, which is fine. Y'all can have your own little show on the chat. But if you are so inclined to shoot us a tip, we are delighted to have you do so. Please shoot us a tip by going on to the chat here online. And, if you do the super chat bit, you can donate us money. And those are all guaranteed to get read, as Brian Whitener's is with a $20 donation. Thank you, boys, for all the great shows. Keep them coming. Go Texans and go Arsenal. Thank you, Brian. I can't believe it's 200 already. Insane. You can also give us money through the buymeacoffee.com link that LG always puts up. You can send tips for that miracle that is Buy Me a Coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/loveyouhardtv. You can tip us on there anytime you want, but you can certainly do it during the show and guaranteed to get read. All right, it is Halloween, and you can't tell, I guess, from this particular angle, but I knew that LG would whip this out today just to screw with me because he knows how it affects me. And I looked around and I did not see her displayed. And LG's like, look behind you. And so I turned my head here, and lo and behold, y'all see that? See what's directly behind me? What a massive insult to the great Jimmy Johnson by putting Reagan next to Jimmy. Gross. Look at that. We have a very... can I grab this, LG?
Sure.
I'll try not to drop it.
I mean, it's yours.
I know how I don't want to screw the setup. So somebody sent this to LG. I guess, what was she at Comic-Con or something?
Sent it
one
to
year?
you, not me.
Okay. Oh yeah, I don't know where I got this. I've had it for a long time.
They got it at like a Comic-Con.
Okay, look at that. It is an autographed picture of the great Linda Blair, but it's not just like a Halloween. It's not just like a regular celebrity shot of her. It is her in all her Exorcist glory. Look at that. That is a scene there. I just get the heebie-jeebies looking at it. So what you see there, and most of you baby boomers and Gen Xers have probably seen The Exorcist by now. If you millennials haven't seen it, you ought to get in there and check it out. If you're a Gen Zer, you should go watch it.
Still shocking to this day.
Still pretty shocking, yeah. And that's saying a lot because, what CGI has done, what we're able to do now on film through the miracle that is technology. This still holds up, though, as pretty shocking because of the blasphemous nature that it takes, because it's a religious-based movie. It's about Catholic priests and one particular Catholic priest who questions his faith when he comes to grips with the reality of this girl here who is possessed by the devil.
A man of faith,
Boy, she certainly questioned it too, didn't she? This is the iconic scene where Reagan is levitating above the bed. And if you see, look right here, if you see in the shadows here, you'll see this shadowy figure. Looks like a hood. That is the demon showing himself for the first time in the movie through Reagan, who now levitates above the bed, all full of vomit and blood and puke. I guess I already said vomit. I guess it's the same thing. And yeah, LG knows what this movie does to me, so thanks for prominently displaying that, dude. Good grief.
You can take it down if you want.
No, it's fine.
I also put Cassius Clay up there.
I do see that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a gift from the captain. He gave me that some weeks ago, and I finally got around to bringing it in, and that's a beautiful...
Yeah, put it in a frame.
Thank
too.
you, man. That's
See
a
that?
great looking frame you got there. I appreciate that, dude. So, no, I'm fine. I can handle The Exorcist a little bit better. But boy, it warped my childhood. And it's Grandma Becky's fault, by the way. God rest her soul. My mother. So I was probably 5 or 6 when I don't know who made them, whoever, the production company, because The Exorcist came out in what, 74, 75, something like that. I was a baby. But they released it. It must have been like a 5-year anniversary or something. Because when I was like 5 years old, one of my early childhood memories, other than bedtime stories about serial killers, was Grandma Becky taking me to see The Exorcist at the Cherry Lane Drive-In movie theater in 1979, 1980-ish in White Settlement, Texas. And yes, that was the name of yes, that's the name of the town, and it still exists outside of Fort Worth. And I remember her telling me, "You're going to be okay. You can handle this," because I was 5 and I had not yet been introduced to Exorcist, and I was a baby when it was released, so I wasn't conscious enough to remember how awful it was, how terrifying it made everybody, how shocking it was, in which you had like religious groups having protests outside of movie theaters, priests on standby to, forgive people that were running out of the theater because they couldn't take it anymore and they just had to leave. People were puking in aisles and stuff. It was insane, the shock value this movie had when it came out. The great William Friedkin, based on a book about a boy in the 60s, I want to say, or 50s, that is based on a true story of a kid that was possessed. Of course, granted, this is before we knew a lot about schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and such. And so there was some exorcism that some priest in some small town somewhere in mid-America had. And the author of the book wound up writing a book about this boy. Well, Hollywood got a hold of the book and changed it to a young girl who was the daughter of a famous actress, a made-up actress, played by the great Ellen Burstyn in the movie. And she goes through this wicked transformation of demonic possession. And boy, 5-year-old Taylor did not handle it all that well at Cherry Lane Drive-In. I sat there and I fought through like the first 45 minutes it's a bunch of buildup, So I'm 5. I barely even know what's going on. But when the scene where she spits up green puke, which I think was actually pea soup in the filming of it, into the face of the priest, yeah, young Mike, I panicked and freaked out and buried my head into the back seat of our car, sobbing uncontrollably, inconsolable. Before you criticize my late mother, keep in mind, when I was 5, she was 20. And was not making the best of decisions in those days at 20 years old with a 5-year-old, taking my ass to go see The Exorcist at the drive-in. So that movie it haunted me for a long, long time. Like, I couldn't even see the movie. I couldn't even see the word Exorcist written down like in print. It had that much impact on me as a young kid. But finally, as I got older, probably in my teenage years, whenever that was, like, I'd go to sleep and that movie would creep into my head, I just somehow built up the courage, because I used to dream that she was after me, this demon girl. I would literally have nightmares about her. It'd keep me up at night, thinking about not wanting to go to sleep because I'm going to have a nightmare about it. And so somehow, some way, I was able to get myself turned around mentally in my dreams and fight her back. And just one night, it's probably 15, 16, I just decided to hell with it. I'm going to fight her back tonight when I dream about this. It was probably around Halloween or something. And I scissor kicked her ass in the back of the head and knocked her head off, and that helped the healing process. I had to face the demon. Sometimes the only way to exorcise your demons is to face the demon. And so right around probably, I don't know, 1990 or so, I spent the entire 80s haunted by this. All right, what is that scene there?
That's the actual dummy they used, the prop.
Oh,
in the movie.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, they had to use a dummy to make the head spin. Look at that. So here we are, 50 years later, still talking about this movie. And I find it interesting that you still think it's shocking because not much shocks DJ LG. I mean, why do you think it's shocking?
Everything.
Because of the religious overtones?
Well, the religious, and it couldn't be made today. And
no way.
The sound design of the movie too adds a lot to it. So you got to listen with the best sound system you can, and
dude,
it's shocking.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was nominated for best sound, best screenplay at the Oscars. You know, I think Ellen Burstyn was nominated for best actress. I think.
Yeah.
And the old man that played the old priest that had to be brought in at the end, Max von Sydow, I think he even got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that movie. It was a shocker, and it shocked America because it was nothing like that had ever been put on film. I can't believe thinking on it now that like the industry allowed that to get mass released in theaters.
There's no way it would get it released today.
No way. I can't believe it was released then.
No. I don't know how they got an R rating on it either.
Yeah, it should have been X.
Well, today it would definitely not get an R rating.
NC-17 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a Buy Me a Coffee.
Awesome.
Pote Hernandez is in here with 3 coffees.
What's up, man?
Great job, fellas. Look forward to hearing your podcast on Spotify every morning at work.
Thanks, man. You know what? We neglect our Spotify guys. Shout out to all Spotify listeners.
Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're on iHeart. We're on Apple. We're on you name it.
Yep.
We're there.
Yeah, a lot of people come up to me and go, sure miss you on iHeart. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm on iHeart every day, more than ever.
Yeah,
You're
still making money for iHeart.
I know,
because we put our show on iHeart on the iHeart Radio app.
Man, it's like I try to. I mean, I don't want to. Like, I'm not mean, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm less patient. You know, every time some old guy comes up, I sure miss you over on the ticket. Well, you know what, man, I still doing a show. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing more shows now than ever. Let me send you a link to it. Oh, I'm not big on links. Oh, God. San Antonio is going to have to get with the times, man. But it's a slow process. We're an old school town, and I get that. And it's one of the reasons I love it. But for every nickel, if I had a nickel, for every time somebody's like, sure miss you on the radio, I wouldn't need a day job anymore, LG. How do we get those old folks in this city to simply subscribe to this show and listen and watch it?
You got to go there and hold their hand through it. And then, there's a way to like save it, make them subscribe and hit the thing. And so they can always get a notification, hit the bell.
Right. You know what we need? You and I need to off air discuss mass subscription campaigns and how we would go about doing that. Thank you, Set Aside. Hey, $1.99, I'll take it. That counts.
Thanks, Caesar. Luis Flores is in here as well. It says, Orale, Miguel, and LG. Thank you for the laughs this morning. Hearing from Marana, Arizona while working. Be safe, fellas.
The great Southwest. What's up,
Marana?
Arizona? We've got a handful of people out. I don't know. See, now I got to look it up because of my OCD.
There's a lot of people in Arizona, right?
We do have a handful of people out there.
I didn't see it on our demographic chart, though, the other day.
That's weird because I know we hear from them all the time. Marana.
Is it Marana?
Marana, Arizona. Okay, maybe it's like a suburb of Phoenix. No, it's a suburb of Tucson. It's off of I-10. The I-10 goes all the way to California, It's in between Tucson and Phoenix, if you know your southern Arizonian
There we go.
demographics. Oh, look at that. LG quick to the draw on the map. All right, yeah, there it is. See,
Yeah, right
that's
outside
Tucson.
Tucson.
Keep trucking up I-10, you'll hit
And then
Phoenix,
here's
but right there in the middle.
Mariana.
All right,
Up here.
shout out.
Right here by the Gladden Farms Community Park. Cool. Thanks, Luis. What's your address? I'll type it in. We can see exactly where you're at.
Yeah, give us your GPS location.
Let's look at it from the satellite.
No, but for real, I'm mentioning this on the show today because you and I and Rudy do need to get together, and I'm always down for suggestions from the people on how we can launch like a mass subscription campaign. Because all of our OG people, they want to see this thing blow up, as we do too. I'm happy with where our show is. I mean, here at show number 200, if you're just joining, welcome to the 200th show with me and Rudy and LG on In the Building here on Love You Hard TV. But it's time to get to that next level. We need massive audiences. We need to get our show in front of more people. We need to take it to the street to do that. And we need mass subscription campaigns. That's what we need to have a powwow on here pretty soon. I bet the three of us, with help from the people, will come up with some pretty decent ideas. All right, Rudy's off today. It's In the Building, presented in part by Ribaldo Realty Group. My man, Jay Ribaldo, just last week had a sit-down with a Thunderdomer, a subscriber to In the Building. Went in there and got a hold of Jay, said he needed to talk about buying a home, and wound up agreeing to work with Jay. I think his name was Steve. Shout out to subscriber Steve, who has made the right decision. Because if you're going to go buy a house or put your house on the market or whatever, you got to make sure that you've got the right guy or girl at the top of the heap running your thing. And our guy is the agent Ribaldo, Jay Ribaldo. Hit him up directly at 210-887-1081. Or you can email him at jribaldo@kw.com. And they've got a great new website that I think they've just now tweaked and made look really awesome. It's Ribaldo.com. Rebaldo, Ribaldo.com. That is the official website.
No one told me.
You know what? He just sent this to me yesterday, LG. I should have sent it to you already. Here, I'll send you a link. Although I'm sure you can go to Ribaldo.com. I'm just going to send it to you and Rudy, too. There it is. Post if you like. So when you mention Jay from now on, there's the website link you can post. What's up, Wayne71? $9.99. Happy show 200. Keep them coming. Thank you, man. So make sure you go to Jay's website if you are in the market for a home. Thank you, Holmes. Appreciate you very much. And thank you, Wayne. All right. Rudy's out today. Happy Halloween, everybody. He'll be back on Sunday. So we don't work Friday. That's a normal off day. Saturday is normally when we do our Longhorn postgame show, but the Longhorns have a second bye this year, so they don't play Saturday. So this will be the last time you see me, at least in this form, until Sunday when we do our big Sunday blowout in the building. All right, what's in the news today? Should we get dumbass Cowboys out of the way?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
All right, let's get into the clickbaits.
Here we go.
Oh, God. Trayvon D's Nuts Diggs is in the news and is apologizing for his tirade the other night in which he got butthurt over a tweet by some rando sports TV dude up in the Metro Sex after the San Francisco game up in the Bay Area. And the reporter was there. And when Diggs noticed him, Diggs decided to go jump on his ass in the hall after the game because the guy, God forbid, tweets any criticism about Diggs' ability or lack thereof to make a tackle. There is a sequence where the big night train tight end for the Niners, the great George Kittle, catches a pass and hauls ass for 40 yards or whatever it was. And Trayvon Diggs ain't never seen a tight end he has any interest in trying to go head up with because Trayvon Diggs, he ain't got time for no smoke like that. We know that. That's his weakness. That's not breaking news. Trayvon Diggs is a damn good cover corner. He's an excellent ball hawk. He ain't got no time for the smoke that is making a tackle. So when he's on the field, the clickbaits have an above average, if not Pro Bowl level cover corner, but they only have 10 guys willing to make a tackle. That's the drawback with having his ass out there. And I thought it was a fair tweet. It was not personal. It wasn't over the top by this sports dude. from the NBC affiliate, I believe, up in the Metro 6. Diggs sees it. Diggs is looking at his notifications before he even takes his effing uniform off, which is ridiculous. This dude goes into the locker room, team just got beat, without even putting on his ding-dong regular clothes, walks out into the hall in his uni, jumps into the face of this television reporter, and it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Drops an F-bomb. The reporter's like, hey, man, let's talk about it. And Trayvon goes, quote, talk to D's nuts. And then it walks out. Well, after a couple of days of sitting on it and seeing him get, you can't handle one tweet from some slap D television reporter. How you going to handle a million people criticizing your ass? Because that's how it went down. You let one guy get to you, make a big deal of it in front of TV cameras and microphones, and now half the country's throwing your ass under the bus. How you like them apples, D's nuts? How you like them nuts, Trayvon? So, hat in hand yesterday, Diggs decided in the locker room to issue an apology. I have no idea if he contacted the reporter in private to apologize to him, but he apologized in public anyway. Said he shouldn't have done it. So, I ripped him for what he did, and he basically doubled down on it on the Micah Parsons podcast on Tuesday. But yesterday was Wednesday. That's the busiest day of the week when you're getting ready for the next game in the NFL, and that's the heaviest media day. So all the media's in there. Diggs is in there, so Diggs decides to issue an apology. So here's the quote from D's Nuts Diggs. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I apologize for that. Most of it caught me at the right time. What he means by it caught me at the, it set him off. He happened to see the tweet right after the game. Well, that's on you, dude. Why are you checking notifications before you even take your pants off in the locker room? Of all the things to be thinking about, right after another hard fart loss on the road to your nemesis, the Niners, the first thing you do is check your Twitter notifications. That's weak-minded bullshit. He was upset, of course, and so he decided to go ahead and give his take on the play in question. We all know what the facts are. He don't want to tackle George Kittle, but he's clearly butthurt, and his ego's hurt because people are calling him soft. So after he issues the apology, then he tries to explain his thought process on why he didn't take the exact beeline route to George Kittle. He kind of took that in and around. Please, somebody else tackle him. Please, somebody at least slow him down so I can jump into the pile after the damn play's over. He says, my man was up the field and I was behind the safeties at the time. So, I was the last line of defense, and I felt like I prevented him from scoring. Oh, thanks. Took you 20 minutes to get to him, but you prevented him from scoring. He says, I took the highest angle. Yeah, I didn't think that my effort was a problem because that tweet that he's pissed off about called out his effort. It wouldn't be the first time Trayvon Diggs half-assed trying to avoid contact. He's done it many times. He got roasted a bunch in the Lions blowout loss last week. And he admitted he's not the best tackler in the league. Quote, and he brought up Cam Chancellor, the now retired former Seahawks badass. He said, quote, I mean, I'm not Cam Chancellor, but when it's my time to make a play, I try to do the best I can to the best of my ability. But tackling is not my strong suit. It's not my superpower, but I can tackle. Okay. Tackling's not your superpower. Dude, tackling ain't even anything you're remotely interested in doing. That dude has mastered the art of just trying to make contact and slow folks down. He ain't knocking folks over. He's also mastered the art of jumping onto piles late after plays are already over to make it look like he's doing something. Road Dog Jess just bought a coffee. Thank you. Taylor, after a month on the road and dealing with crap, I'll read that to me later, LG. Those things disappear on me.
Says, Taylor, after spending a month on the road, you moving to the mornings, there's now balance in my life.
Oh, good. Thank you, man. Yeah. We want to do these shows live every day, but as life happens, we have to switch them up. All three of us have outside jobs that we have to do. And so it has an impact. I wish we could start at the same time every single day, And we've got some, and that's another thing we probably ought to have a sit down and talk about it as a company on that. But I appreciate you watching us whenever you get to us, Holmes, and I appreciate you watching live. And most of them, for the record, the vast majority of those that watch this show watch it after it's already over. All right, we'll leave Trayvon Diggs alone. It is what it is. He's got sugar in his britches when it comes to tackling. It is what it is. We know it. He knows it. And he's been in the league long enough to the point now where that's just how it's going to be. When he's on the field, I know I got one of the better cover corners in the league. But also when he's on the field, I know that I only have about 10 guys willing to tackle anybody, and that's how life goes with Trayvon Diggs. All right, what else today? Last night, we had the Los Spurs. Spurs. Let's celebrate Spurs talk by giving a big old shout out to Geechee SA, which is not how you say it, but I like to say it that way anyway. $50 from Geechee SA. Thanks, man. That's awesome. Thank you, dude. Next time we see each other, remind me of this $50 and I'll reach down and touch it. If you want to.
No, man, shut up.
Only if it's consensual, but I'd be willing to do that for $50. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Geechee. All right. Last night, the Purup Spurs found themselves up in Mobilehoma, home of Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And, well, things did not go well. The Spurs are now 1-3. I think that they're better than they were last year. I think they are. The record, however, so far is not reflecting that. They played Dallas, they played Houston twice, and they played Oak City. Oklahoma City is a title contender. Dallas is a title contender. The Rockets are tough. And so you've got a hard-fought loss to the Mavericks. You've got a hard-fought victory over Houston, a hard-fought loss to Houston, and then you got a lame fart last night because they didn't play good. And Wemby didn't play worth a damn. Last night, Victor Wembanyama craps the bed.
What the fuck is this?
And only had a career low 6 points in this game. But he only took 5 shots. That better not ever happen again unless he gets hurt. How the hell are you 7'4" tall and you can only get 5 shots off in a game? Credit Oklahoma, but nah, that's more on Wemby. And it's also more on, of course, it's also on a team still trying to figure out how to get him the ball in primo spots on the floor. It has been a problem since day one with him and them trying to get him good looks. And the excuse last year was, hey, he's a rookie. He's a 19-year-old kid. He's not going to have it every single night. That's the way it goes when you're 19. He's still a great kid. He's going to be the rookie of the year. We got some guys that are getting used to playing with him. So fast forward to this year, and you got new guys getting used to playing with him. Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes. Devin Vassell is sorely missed right now because he hadn't played yet this season, hopefully soon. And Wemby last night was terrible. And the team was bad. Not just Wemby, but the team was bad, I know Wemby's a little banged up. Wemby played in the summer too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. But there ain't a damn thing we can do about it. Although they've not brought that up at all. He says he's not tired. He doesn't have Olympic hangover, none of that stuff. Pop chewed their asses out last night. Apparently. I don't know if he chewed them out, but he was late getting to the podium after the game was over. And even did something that he rarely does, although I think he was doing it tongue-in-cheek. He apologized to the media. Pop never does that.
What?
I don't think Pop's apologized to anybody in 20 years. But he apologized last night for being late. He said he was busy talking to his team. He was pissed. Hopefully he chewed their asses out. What's up, 21-4 Life? $4.99. Love it. Need to bring back I'd totally do Tim Duncan if it guaranteed a title drop to start a new one. I'd totally do Wemby if it guaranteed a title. Absolutely. Well, of course. Might do him just to get to the conference championship game, honestly. I mean, it's been a long time. I need love.
I want some nasty.
Thanks for the donation. Bob Saget. So I don't know if he's back there chewing their asses out, but he was back there getting on them, and he criticized them in the press last night because they're not putting together 48 minutes of effort. That's bullshit. I can deal with he's 20. I can deal with, Stephen Castle's a baby. I can deal with we got 2 new veteran starters. I can deal with Devin Vassell's hurt. I get it. Those are pretty good excuses. I can also deal with, hey, man, Oklahoma City might not lose more than two or three games all year at home anyway. All that's valid. But also part of last night was they did not show max effort for the entire game. Pop ain't going to keep them late, bitching at them, and make the media wait post-game just because Oklahoma City's awesome at home. Pop ain't going to sit up there and not chew no asses out because, well, Devin Vassell's missing. Pop gets that. Pop's only going to sit back and chew asses out after a game when he ain't getting the right effort. And so that was a big part of the game last night, period. Corey Benavidez is in here. Wemby needs to average 25 a game minimum. If it is not, he is not the player we thought he was. Well, I don't disagree. We can argue whether or not the threshold's 25 points a game, but we can damn sure all agree 6 points ain't it. 5 shots ain't it. You ain't got to score 25, but you better be taking 20 shots. He may miss 18 of them, but to not get off more than 5 shots is bullsh. Just bullsh. That's on him on last night. Some of it's on, chemistry and new guys and injuries and tiredness, and that's fine. That's a part of it. But the big part of the graph last night, if I made a mathematical pie chart last night, reasons the Spurs lost to the Thunder, the biggest piece of the pie is Wemby sucked. And we ain't gonna say, now you know how much I love him and how much I've defended him to my co-host who's out today, and how much I've defended him to my family. Haters across America. I've been a Wemby fan, and I am. But that don't mean I'm not going to jump on his ass when he's bad. And it sucked. And he knows he was bad. He don't need dumbasses on talk radio or podcast to tell him he was bad. And I bet he improved. I bet we see more than 5 shots in the next game. They desperately need Devin Vassell back. And that's the other thing. Devin's missed a big chunk of the summer because of the injury, the surgery. But he's almost back. They've sent him up to Austin to get some rehab games in, which is good, means he's healthy. Just needs to go get his conditioning now. Needs to get some games in under his belt up in Austin. And that's good. That means he's probably a week or two from getting back. But then when he gets back, they're going to have to slowly matriculate him into the rotation. Then he's got to relearn chemistry with Wemby. So even when Vassell gets back, don't expect a 10-game winning streak, although I expect immediate improvement because he's the second best player they've got. And Oklahoma City's good, man. They're 4-0. They've got 3 legit studs. The Spurs had no answer for that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or whatever the hell his name is, SGA. That dude drives into defenses like a sortie on an air raid. He's awesome. And Wemby's a kid. He's 20 years old. He didn't get good rotation help last night. Steph Castle's a baby. I'll say it again. Devin Vassell's not there. But, boy, Wemby's got to figure out a way on his own. There are going to be nights where things ain't going your way. But if you're the franchise player, you're the next Tim. That's not fair, but let's just say that you're the next great superstar in Spurs history. Your ass has got to figure out a way to overcome nights like last night. That ain't no bueno. So tonight, they're all forgiven. It was one bad night. They've been competitive anyway in the first 3 games until last night, and things reconvene tonight in the city of Utah as they take on the hated Jazzes. And right now, the Spurs limp into that city with a bit of a sports hernia after last night, and it'll be the second of a back-to-back. So, no more. Again, those are all valid. Tired, injuries, chemistry, blah blah blah. But to only get 5 shots off, that ain't no bueno. So. It's a good lead into today's People I Want to Punch segment presented by the great Orlando Kell, the official family lawyer of us. All right, who we punching? Who are we punching? All right, LG, have you heard the story? You know what's funny, because we had a guy check in from Arizona. Got to put my glasses on so I don't get the names wrong. Got to get the name. Got to protect the guilty here. So, I want to punch a guy named Joe Hill. Joseph Hill is a guy who lives in the great state of Arizona. Maybe we should start doing more Arizona talk since we've got so many people that watch us from Arizona. All right, Dateline, Maricopa County, Phoenix area. CNN.com. Don't get scared. It's not a political article, so I trust CNN when it's not politics. I don't trust any of them when it comes to politics. Anyhow, a man in Arizona told detectives he put his deceased father's body in a freezer. Let me repeat what I just said. A man in Arizona told detectives he put his deceased father's body in a freezer and then moved the body around, still in the freezer, over the course of 4 years, all in a 4-year-long ruse to keep his father's death a secret so he could still live in his dad's house. Pops dies. The son puts the dad in a freezer and doesn't report that because he died at home 4 years ago. And the guy tells the cops he was afraid of losing the house because he doesn't have a job and he wouldn't be able to pay the mortgage and he would have the house repossessed. And so in order to keep the house, and I guess they've got some squatters laws or some shit in Arizona, or maybe he was able to go hustle rent here and there or whatever. He was also, this is another reason why he's going to go to prison, because no one knew his dad died. His dad's disability checks kept coming in every month. And the son was cashing them.
That's where it is right
Bingo.
there.
That's
this happens a lot. This is a common thing.
Faking death?
You'd be surprised.
And just storing bodies in
You'd be
places?
surprised, yeah.
Good
I
Lord.
hear about this a lot.
Now, so Joseph Hill is going to go to jail. He's clearly mentally deranged too. Wow. And even says, over the last 4 years, there have been times where like they'd have a power outage because he was poor, and while he was paying the mortgage, there were months where he'd go months at a time without being able to pay the electric bill, and he had the lights cut off more than once in the house, and that ain't no good when you have a dead body in a freezer to lose your electricity. Oof. So he would take his dad in the freezer and I guess put it in the back of a truck or a van and like go and try to find cheap motels and stuff. So he spent 4 years trying to keep his dad's own corpse from rotting. What a feel-good Halloween story on this Thursday morning. Good Lord, punch that asshole. Wow.
Something is wrong here.
Anybody you need to punch today? Or are we happy-go-lucky LG?
No, I'm good. I'm still.
All right.
We can punch the airline industry again.
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
What now?
It's just they're nickel and diming, man.
Anything
like
new?
I'm booking my itinerary to Tokyo.
Oh, okay. When
And
is that, by the way?
Early December.
Okay. So
Yeah.
LG's going to. How long are you going to be gone? LG 2.
10 days, but I'll still be doing some shows.
Some shows, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. See what
I have
can
one request.
accomplish.
I have on days where you can't do shows.
What do you want, like a tentacle sex toy or something?
No, I don't want a tentacled sex toy.
Oh, okay.
I want a double-headed one.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
You know how I roll.
oh yeah. Got to fill both holes.
My only request, all of them if you're lucky, is on days where you can't do shows, I demand that you find a way to do some content, though.
Oh, there's gonna be content.
I need content.
I'm gonna be in the land of content.
Yes, I need
So,
buku content. Am I allowed
there
to say
you go.
that? Am I allowed
I'll
to say
give you
that?
a bukkake of content.
No, let's go with buku. Dude, I was hesitant to
It's
say
appropriate for
buku.
it's appropriate for the country.
Although buku's not even Japanese, is it? It's Vietnamese.
Yeah,
Buku. I learned that from studying Vietnam and watching Vietnam movies.
you learned that from
Full Metal Jacket.
Yes,
To buku.
yes.
No boom boom with Soul Brother.
Yes. Fantastic. movie.
Rudy's out so we can make black guy jokes today. We can be more racist today with Rudy out. It's
We
great.
love you long time.
Shout out to Patty Mills, who is now with those Jazzes. You think Patty loves living in the city of Utah?
I'm sure he likes the nature part of it.
Oh, I'm sure he loves
That's
that.
about it, though.
Yeah, Patty's a big naturist. He loves the ocean. He's a big surfer.
He was probably snowboarding.
Oh, yeah. Surfers, a lot of, it's funny because, Patty's got a house up in Hawaii. Lives pretty close to where I used to live in the Hellscape. They're on Mansion Row. All of us rich guys all live in the same street up there in that part of the woods. No, he got a real modest little house right on the beach because he just wanted to surf in the off season. And a lot of those surfers get tired of the same weather every day, but because they're surfers, they all wind up going on vacation to Utah to go snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know a guy called Mike in Hawaii, guy about our age. He goes snowboarding every year. He's a big surfer, but he goes snowboarding every year in the wintertime because he's got, I guess it's obviously similar physics. Similar physics. Not the same, but similar, you know.
And those dudes just love extreme sports.
And when you're a big surfer like that, you're used to just doing crazy shit like that. That's, you know.
I'll never do it again. I've been there to Park City, Utah, right there out of Salt Lake. And, Yep, never again.
Yeah, using nature for your sport. It's always fun, but it's always dangerous.
Well, no, going up a giant mountain and trying to ski down it or snowboard down it, that's
right.
That's just
you're relying on nature as your playing field. And not a sculpted football field, you know, the natural snow drift of Mount Zion or whatever in Park City, Utah.
When the bunny slope and the black diamond are one wrong turn to mistake which one you go down.
Yep.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, you just don't tweak a toe when you wipe out skiing like that. You tear your femur in half. Yeah. So there's no like minor accidents when you're doing that. But anyway, shout out to all would-be snowboarders. All right, man. Thank you to Orlando Kell. My guy. Talked to him yesterday. You know, talked to my man yesterday. Orlando's my guy. I'm a client. It's funny. He's our client, and I'm his too. You know, I do business with our clients because I want to go to people that know what they're doing, and I go to Orlando if I ever need him to. You know, because I'm divorced, but you know, from time to time, divorcees still need to get back hold of their lawyer because maybe a job status changed, money changes, or somebody wants to move, or kids relocate, blah, 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 blah. So not only does Orlando handle, in-process divorces, he also handles post-divorce stuff. Maybe you need to tweak a decree. Maybe something needs to be added in. Whatever it is, Orlando's there in all. Whatever family law means, Orlando practices it all. Call him at 210-775-4995, or you can direct email him, orlandokilllaw@gmail.com. It's orlandokilllaw@gmail.com. All right, what else today? The Yankees last night never had a chance to pull off this miracle because that Yankee team is flawed. The Yankees get beat last night after going up 5-0 in Game 5 of the World Series in the Bronx. Completely crapped the bed in the fifth inning on a level that I don't think I've ever seen in the history of the World Series. I was trying to think last night, and maybe there's been a bigger meltdown that I'm forgetting, but racking my brain over the last 40, 50 years of World Series play, man, I do not recall a team essing the bed the way that the Yankees essed it last night. That was insane what happened, and surreal almost. The Yankees have been they've not been a good fielding team all year. Bottom half in baseball in fielding and defense. Probably the worst base running team in the league. They're a bunch of beer keg mashers. They just home run themselves to the American League pennant this year with great pitching, obviously. But they can't play D, and they suck on the base paths. And boy, it bit them in the ass last night. They go up 5-0. Garrett Cole, their best pitcher's pitching. No one's ever forced a Game 6 after going down 3-0 in a World Series, and it looked like the Yankees may actually make the Dodgers sweat a little bit and take this thing back to L.A. for a Game 6. But no, we have a meltdown of epic proportions last night. In the fifth inning, that will go down certainly in the most dubious inning in Yankees World Series history, and that's saying a lot because the Yankees have been to 30 World Series or whatever it is, or 40 maybe, hell. Aaron Judge, who's going to be the MVP of the American League, who didn't hit worth a damn the entire series until finally hitting a home run early last night, flubs a routine fly ball to him for an error. He had made an error all year. Now, I say they have a shitty defense in New York, not Judge. Judge is arguably the best defensive fielding center fielder there is. He had made an error all year, regular season or post. Flubs a fly ball last night. That tells me you shit in the bed because it's the World Series. That ain't good. They're not going to release him or anything, but you're the Yankees, man. You got that Yankee mystique where y'all don't melt down in the World Series. You find another gear in the World Series going forward. But he screws up last night in the fifth. Then Anthony Volpe, who's a really good shortstop for them, Volpe couldn't make an accurate throw to third base. And then in the same inning, Garrett Cole, who had a no-hitter going into the fifth inning, forgets to cover first base on a routine play, which would have ended the inning on a ground out, and that just completely opens the floodgates. The Dodgers score 5 runs, and even though the Yankees still took the lead later in the game, once the Yankees crapped the bed last night and blew a 5-0 lead, it never felt like New York was going to win. I don't know what happened to Judge. Did he go mentally flat in the front? Did he have an arrhythmia? I don't. Maybe the moment got to him. I don't know, but that's what really cost the Yankees a chance, and they wind up losing. So the Dodgers are the champions of baseball. I think I read this morning it's only the 8th time the Dodgers have won the World Series. I would have guessed they've won like 15 just because of how long they've been around, going back to their days in Brooklyn, all of the great players they've had over the years. But I don't think it's going to take them long to win their next one. They've now won 2 World Series since 2020. They fought that stupid stigma where, okay, y'all won the World Series, but you did it in a pandemic year in a short season. I mean, hey man, all the other teams have the same. This is the same thing I say about people who want to shit on the Spurs' first championship back in '99. Oh, it's a 50-game season. But all the teams in the league play 50 games too. It don't matter if you shorten the season. Somebody has to win the championship, even in a shortened season. Nobody else did that year, and the Spurs did. That's not a champion. That's not a tainted championship. And I didn't think the Dodgers championship in 2020 was tainted. So whatever the case, they've got their second one since 2020. They've got their legit one. And I think they're going to win another one, probably next year. They're just – the Dodgers do it the way you have to do it in Major League Baseball. They spent $1 billion in payroll in the offseason. That didn't hurt. But they also had more injuries than any other team in the big leagues. They didn't have a full rotation of pitchers at all this year. They used 29 different guys alone in the month of October. What they do have is something that I've been preaching on a lot here in the middle of another fatal clickbait season. What have I talked about the most lately on these shows with Rudy? It's not that, well, you got to get more talent or you got to get a better coach or, dang it, you're just so injured. The thing that I've harped on so much, and you see how much it means something, especially on the pro level where everybody's elite, everybody's amazing. You wouldn't be in the big leagues if you're not one of the great ball players on the planet. So what separates? Sure, spending money on the best players. I'm not trying to take the money off the table here. That's the number one reason why the Dodgers won. They just spent $500 million to get Shohei Ohtani. They spent God knows what to bring in the top Japanese pitcher again in Yamamoto. They spent $1 billion in the offseason. But they have a culture that is top 2 or 3 in all of baseball. So you combine the money they have, the Guggenheim Group, that's who owns the Dodgers. Magic Johnson's a part of that group. So you spend $1 billion, and then you build a culture around that. And they did. The Mets spend just as much money. They got no culture. The Yankees spend just as much money. They don't have the right chemistry because they just put a bunch of mashers out there, and it finally bit them in the ass in the World Series. They were talented enough to go to the World Series, but all their flaws showed in these last 5 games. The Dodgers do all this without their ace pitcher. They do it because they have a culture that means something in pro sports. In high school, you can get away with having crappy culture. You can have 4 short white boys, but if you got Shaq O'Neal, all of a sudden San Antonio Cole went 33-0 in one state this year. Imagine that. That don't fly in the NBA. You got to have culture. You got to have corporate knowledge, and the Dodgers have it. They absolutely have it. So thumbs up to the Dodgers. I've got lots of buddies who are Dodgers fans. A lot of you baby boomers are all Dodgers fans because you followed the Missions. Now, the Missions are a Padres affiliate now, so I'm a Padres fan because of my affiliation with the Missions. But what a great history that our team here in town has with the Dodgers. All those great Dodgers in the 70s and 80s all came through San Antonio. Oral Hershiser, Fernando Valenzuela, and they won one for Fernando, who just passed a couple weeks ago. So, not a couple, last week. So, hell of a night for baseball. You get the top 2 markets in a series-clinching game. You get an epic 5-0 lead, epic 5-run comeback, and then a back and forth, and L.A. wins it. Clear MVP is Freddie Freeman. All right, show also brought to you in part by Slackers, the official sports bar in the building. It's at Slackers. They got 5 locations. You got the St. Mary's one downtown. You got the one up in the Med Center off Fred Road. You've got Nacogdoches, Thousand Oaks, and you got the one over at North Star Mall, right over off of Rector. Always have cool things going. Find the Slackers that's nearest where you live. They're spread out all over the city, and all 5 of them always have different things going. And we had a big celebration y'all did, and LG and Rudy did when I was out last week. That went real well, the one over at Rector. So each one of those little bars are either celebrating a holiday or a big event, or they've got an anniversary that they're celebrating. So shout out to all 5 Slackers in town, the official sports bar and studio sponsor of In the Building on Love You Hard TV. It is Slackers. All right. Another punch here before we get out of here. One more punch for that moron the other night and his buddy that tried to yank that ball out of the glove of Mookie Betts. It's one thing to stick your hand up trying to catch a ball, which you shouldn't do. But to be grabbing on his wrist like that, yanking his glove, come on, man. So we ripped their asses a new one yesterday. They got banned for the game. And you see the guy that got banned was bitching about it? The guy with the hat on sideways looking like a douche. You know, he made a bunch of he took advantage of the situation and did a bunch of media rounds in New York. And he was saying that, okay, he understands why he can't go to Game 5 last night, but they took his tickets from him. What he was saying was, look, man, I paid a lot of money for the tickets. I'm a season ticket holder of the Yankees, which God knows what he's paying. So let my brother go. He was just going to give he understood why he couldn't go. He was going to pass the tickets to somebody he knows. But the Yankees were like, nah, dude, no. They confiscated his tickets and gave him to a young man battling cancer. What's funny about that is that that's a genius way to handle that. Oh, you're mad because we took your tickets? We're going to let a sick kid who loves the Yankees go to the game. Shut your mouth, you dumbass. So double punch that idiot again. What a moron. Just disappear into the bushes, dude. Don't make media rounds. There's no excuse for what you did. That was dumb. To be grabbing the guy's hand could have hurt Mookie Betts. Mookie's literally hanging from the freaking wall because these morons are grabbing on him. Could have broken his damn wrist or sprained the hell out of it. That was dumb. Stupid. Now, full disclosure, I've acted like a fool at games myself. It's been a long time. I was a younger man. I wasn't some middle-aged dope like this guy. Matter of fact, was it Rob Gronkowski? Gronk, the former tight end. He was saying that he knows this guy. He actually went to college with this guy at Arizona State. State of Arizona back in the show. Was it State or Arizona? I forget which one. Gronk went to college, played college ball in Arizona, and knew this dude when he was in college. Said he was a big frat house dude. I kept calling him, he's a maniac, party animal, loves to party. Shocking that Gronk ran around with this dude. But I've acted dumb at games, but it goes back to when I was a much younger man, not in my 40s. You ever almost got in a fight at a ball game, LG, or
No.
got told off by ushers for being out, unruly? You don't strike me as that kind of fan. I used to be that dumbass. So I'm going to rip on these fans. I can't have to have disclosure. I've acted a fool at games before. It's happened. One time, it was me, my dad, and my brother. It was the Big 12 championship game at Texas Stadium before they tore it down, the house that Tom Landry built. It's UT, it's Colorado in the Big 12 title game. Chris Sims, the starting quarterback for the Longhorns. And we've been fighting through him, ebbing and flowing with that you talk about a 5-star soft ass. Once again, moment was too big. He's playing scared. Texas is struggling. They get down big to Colorado. And me and my brother and my father and my best friend Rudy was with us. We start the chant in our section. Major, 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 major. And it turned into a full-blown, we want major. We want major. Applewhite. And within 10 minutes, we had our entire section chanting for major. And they heard it because Mac put major in. We went apeshit when they wound up putting Major Applewhite in the game. And what happens? Major immediately scores a touchdown for the Longhorns, and they damn near come back. They lose the game, but we were going crazy for Major Applewhite the whole game, and he damn near brought them back and won the game. And so while we had most of the entire section on our side screaming for Major, the rest of the night we were dog-cussing Chris Sims out loud because he cost the Longhorns the chance to win the game at the start. And I was mad at Mac Brown. Had you just started Major Applewhite, you wouldn't have had to come back from down 20 or whatever it was, and you would have won the championship game. And we damn near got in a fight in the restroom with a couple of people that walked by and were like, you don't know what you're talking about. Chris Sims is awesome. Shut up. Don't pick a fight with 3 drunk idiots at a football game. That was not good. I thought we might have gone to jail. At one point, we were so excited when Major was leading the comeback. My best friend Rudy, who was there, Rudy was like, I'm gonna run the field, dude. I'm gonna run on the field. I'm like, no, man, you're not. No, because we had lower seats. We were behind the goalpost down low. Rudy was gonna hop over and run onto the field. I'm like, no, dude, don't do it. Of course, my brother's egging him on. You can do it. You can do it. Go, 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 go. I'm like, no, dude. And even my father at one point goes, if you do it, we'll bail you out. I got your bail money. And I'm like, no, what are we doing? It was a wild-ass group when I am the voice of reason. And I talked Rudy out of bum rushing the field. They would have kicked his ass. They would have taken him to jail, drunk tank. Oh, my God, it would have not been good.
We're good streaking!
Dude. We felt like we were the ones that we pressured Mac into putting Major Applewhite onto the field. But really, it was just Chris Sims couldn't have played any shittier because the moment was too big for him. God, what a memory. That popped into my head last night thinking about this idiot. I would never interfere with a player in the middle of a game, though, much less a World Series. So I never did anything dumb like that. Taunted a lot of guys. Once got under Ricky Henderson's skin so bad, he turns around and flips us the bird out in left field at the old Arlington Stadium up in the Metro 6, which was awesome. He literally turns around, takes off his glove, and gives us a big old giant middle finger. It was great. Oh, of course, we loved it. We all went crazier. Ushers come down, made us leave him alone, blah, blah, blah. I have taunted many a player in my time, but never would I reach over like a jackass and interfere with a ball in play, much less grab on a dude's hands. That was dumb. All right, shout out to the official liquor store of this show. It is Texas Cheer Liquor, 7 locations in and around the area, 6 in the greater San Antonio area. You got the one up in Bernie, and you got one more afternoon. It's 11 o'clock almost here in Central Texas time. They close at 9 o'clock. You've got until 9 o'clock tonight to take advantage of the October Spooktacular specials. The DeLolo 750, all flavors, normally $26.99. Normally it's $29.99. Hang on, I got to do this. I can't see, LG. Normally $29.99, now just $16.99. Still Austin Bourbon and Rye, normally $49.99. Now you can get that shit for just $39.99. Yes, sir. And some amazing wine specials, too, on sale. Atolon Sauvignon Blanc, normally $17.99. Now you can get it for $4.99. And then Woodwork Cabernet, normally gets $18.99. You can get that for just $9.99. And from between now and 9 o'clock at all 7 Texas Cheer Liquors. And they got those lit kits on special right now. And then anything else that's not on special is still 5% off when you mention in the building. All right? Say in the building anytime, no matter what day of the month it is, and get 5% off your offer when you mention in the building at any and all locations. All right, one more quick thing and we'll get out of here. I told this dude I would read this because I'm a man of the people. We are a network, a podcast, a content company, a website that's here for the people. A guy called Jesse's in here. Taylor, I need your help. Because a lot of y'all come to me when you need help, and I'm happy to help if I know somebody or I've got advice. Taylor, I need your help. I need an auto insurance company that is cheap on monthly payments for full coverage. Do you know a place? Now, he said this. I'm about to quote what he said. I'm Mexican. I can't afford nearly $300 a month for auto insurance. That's what he wrote. That's not Uncle Mike saying that.
Chale.
Again, Taylor, I need your help. I need an auto insurance company that is cheap on monthly payments for full coverage. Do you know of a place? I'm Meskin. I can't afford $300. That's high insurance, man. So, does anyone know? Because I don't have an official auto insurance salesman or woman in the building. Sure wouldn't mind having one. That sounds like something that would be right up our alley. I think we could really help some local auto insurance person. Well, let's help this guy, Jesse. So if you know of a good local auto insurance person, or you are one yourself, slip into my DMs, or you can email me. It's MikeTaylorShow@gmail.com, or DM me on any of my social medias, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the 3 that I have. All right, we are done. Thanks for all the money, man. I appreciate the donations today. Rudy will be back on Sunday. We'll be back with our show on Sunday. Y'all have a great, safe Halloween. Be good tonight. But if you just cannot possibly be good, at least be safe. And we'll see you back in here on Sunday. Love you all.
This shit, man.
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.